Hey mamas. I'm very happy to be here today on Saturday morning. It's such a beautiful day here in Colorado Springs. And I'm really excited that this is the last homeschool video. I have a lot to talk about today, but my hope and my prayer are that these videos have been really encouraging. They've called you maybe to do something that you never thought you were going to do, or maybe confirmed just that desire in your heart that was not spoken. And I hope that you feel equipped and really prepared to focus on your child's education this fall if you want to homeschool. And even if you're not homeschooling, I hope that some of these tips and these videos have just caused you to feel just really inspired and really motivated to be extra intentional and bold with your kids. We only have just a short amount of time in our kids' lives, and being a mother and being a focused, intentional mother is an amazing honor. And I can tell you, having a daughter who's going into 8th grade, that it really goes fast. And I hope that if nothing else, you just feel really motivated to get started and to add some new things into your house. So I think today's video will be really helpful for moms who even aren't homeschooling, because I'm going to talk a lot about just family things you guys can do around the house, board games, websites and apps you can visit, book lists, podcasts. These are all things that anybody can do. We use them to supplement our homeschooling, but even if we didn't homeschool, we would still use them. And it's just fun, creative ways to get your kids doing something different. So just one final thought, that it matters so much what we do at home. What we do at home really matters. It really makes an impact. Our kids notice how we act, and our kids pay attention, and it's meaningful and powerful. So I wanted to start today. I've had quite a few moms ask me about kind of social activities, specifically Awana, and just what are some things you can do with your child. Maybe academics aren't your focus. Maybe you want to know about, how do I get my child involved, and how do I get my child to make friends and become more social? Well, it starts with you. And I think that the whole socialization thing with homeschooling is a complete myth. Homeschool kids can be regular, normal, just as prepared and equipped for the real world as public school kids, but it starts with you and your husband making it an impact, making that an impact in your family and making that a focus, getting involved in church, being proactive and getting together with friends. I've mentioned in other videos doing co-ops or some sort of thing that might be put on by your district. But if you want to shy away from the district, almost every single community has a local kind of Facebook group or homeschoolers that will meet together really at a casual level. We've done in the past, when my girls were little, we've done book clubs where you just need 1 or 2 motivated mamas to organize it. All the kids read a book, or you read a book with the kids, and then you get together and you meet and you chat about it. Again, if you guys are watching, say hi and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to talk about. I'm planning on this being the last video, but if I feel, there's so many questions and comments that you guys still have, I might do another one. So just let me know, okay? There are kind of a Christian alternative to Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts that are really popular. One for girls, it's called American Heritage Girls. And for boys, hey Janelle, for boys, it's called Trail Life. My children have never done those, but I have lots of close friends who speak very highly of them. So if you think your child would like something, they focus a lot on integrity, character, leadership development, of course, outdoors things. It's similar to Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, but it's not liberal and crazy. And it's dealing with, again, that's just that leadership and character development, but it's grounded in scripture. So that might be a good option for your family if you like that sort of thing, or maybe you did Girl Scouts when you were young and it's just have so many fond memories. Awanas is fantastic. My girls did do it when they were little. You can start Awanas really young. They have the cubbies, and that starts, I believe, in preschool, maybe 4 years old. We did it when my girls were, I don't know, maybe core wasn't involved, maybe like kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, and I really liked it. I think it presents a fantastic way for your child to understand the importance of scripture, that you can bring scripture into everyday life. They obviously memorize a lot of scripture, but it's an opportunity for them to be around other adults, not just you, learning from other adults. There's like a rec time where they get around and run around and meet other kids. And most churches host Awana. I know in Colorado Springs, Woodman Valley has a really big one. Obviously, so many of the things I'm suggesting might be on hold because of COVID, but things might be coming again this fall. And I think that Awanas is really good to create that foundation of the word. We stopped doing it at around third grade simply because the time didn't work for our schedule. And at that age, my daughter started getting involved in other sports and activities. So we've tried soccer and gymnastics, and we've done music lessons, and my girls have tried lots of different things. And at around third grade, I felt like, okay, we can start doing some Bible at home. And there just wasn't as much of a need to do that, but through Awana, but it's really, really good when they're little, especially. And it gives you a break, and you can use it as a date night. I know a lot of friends do that. You drop off your kids, a lot of times it's at night, and then you can get an hour or two to go on a date. Lego club, start a Lego club with your friends. We've done that. Sorry, we haven't done that. We've done a book club, but I know a lot of moms who have boys who are really into Legos. They'll just get together at someone's house and everybody brings their Legos, and they can either show what they've made that week or, bring a bunch of miscellaneous Legos and build something together. Online, if you Google free Lego printable, like a challenge, they'll have weekly, sometimes daily challenges that your child can follow. And that's really fun to do with friends, of course. So I think Legos are amazing, and that could be a good option. But I think the important thing is to really try to get involved in your community. And sometimes that works through your church or on Facebook. You can find groups, and different women will just create kind of different opportunities for you as a mom to take your kids. Park play dates, field trips, groups. I know our library in Colorado Springs offers homeschool resources, and they'll do like a once a month homeschool science lab and a once a month homeschool, like engineering kind of coding situation, sometimes craft stuff. So really utilize your local library, look into that. It's such a fantastic resource. So, socialization, it's important, but it's not the end all. And I firmly believe that your child will, get it. You just have to talk to your child, and a lot of it is the training at home. We'll do like little exercises with our kids of explaining how you introduce yourself to somebody. How do you say hi? How do you ask for something? Whenever we go to Chick-fil-A, I make my daughters go up and ask for the refill themselves. There's just these little opportunities throughout your week where instead of you doing it for them, have them do it. Have them ask for a refill. Have them ask for a straw. And it can be a little hard for them at first. And homeschool kids really do tend to be bashful in the beginning. And you, as the parent, it's your opportunity and job to get them out of their shell. Give them opportunities to express themselves, ask questions, state their opinion, those kinds of things. Okay, my favorite thing to talk about, board games. We are huge gamers in this family, and I was raised in a house. My mom and dad, we played games, and I wasn't homeschooled when I was a kid, and we just played board games all the time. I think a lot of homeschoolers gravitate toward board games because there are so many that are strategic and educational. They're such an amazing resource for your homeschool, and really just to do anytime. And I think that that's another opportunity to do as a social thing. You can get family friends that like board games and have everybody come over, and you guys can all do board games together. So I'm going to run through a bunch of suggestions, and if you don't get them all, I can type them up later. Just let me know. So in the board game world, there's cooperative games, which are nice if you have different ages of kids and your 5-year-old can't compete equally with your 12-year-old. You do a cooperative game and everybody is fighting against the game. So some really good ones for preschoolers that are cooperative, that maybe your preschooler and your kindergartner feels like they're playing, but your second, third, fourth grader is helping. We love Peaceable Kingdom games. That's a company, Peaceable Kingdom. All of their games are amazing. Some of our favorites are Hoot Owl Hoot, Count Your Chickens, Gnomes at Night. These are all different varieties of cooperative games. Sometimes they're dealing with counting, sometimes shapes, sometimes they're going through a maze. They're all fantastic, and everybody works together as a team, and it's a good opportunity for your older kids to kind of help and guide your younger kids. Some other preschool games that are really good. These two aren't cooperative. There is a winner, but it's really gentle approach. And again, your younger kid is mostly the one learning and going through it, and your older kids can help. And those are the educational insights games. So Educational Insights is another company. We own Sneaky Snacky Squirrel and Frankie's Food Truck. They're so cute. Riker loves playing them. They're obviously way too easy for my girls, but the girls will play with them with Riker, and he's the one really learning. Sneaky Snacky Squirrel deals with counting and colors, and they're just super cute. They're also beautiful, and these are all available on Amazon. Okay, other family cooperative games that will be too hard for your preschooler. Maybe your first and second grader can kind of sit and feel involved, but you're really going to need a fourth or fifth grader kind of guiding them, would be the Forbidden Desert and Forbidden Island games. We love these. My girls right now are going into fourth, sixth, and eighth grade, and they play them completely by themselves. They don't need any parents' help. Riker will just sit and kind of watch, and they're really fun. You're racing to get off an island or to escape from the desert, and you're playing against the game. So it's nice because it builds that cooperation, camaraderie against the family. Everybody can contribute, but no one is a loser or a winner. Pandemic is a really fun one, and it's just super hysterical and timely because we're living in a pandemic. Literally, there's a virus that's going through the world, and you have to fight against it. It's really, really well done. It takes a lot of critical thinking and strategy. My family loves it. We play it. Hugh and I will play it with the girls. It's interesting enough that it can kind of keep our attention. I think that it's really good for all ages, everybody in the family. Some of our favorites for elementary. When I say elementary, I mean maybe first grade through sixth grade. Maybe a first grader can't play independently, but the older kids can play with them. Some really good ones, Sleeping Queens. This game doesn't involve any parent help. I really like using board games. I'll tell you this first before I go on. We use board games a lot when I need to keep other kids active when I'm working one-on-one with one child. So I have 4 kids, right? If I'm doing math or teaching to read or doing a difficult grammar concept with one child, I'll pull out Sleeping Queens for the other kids. Sleeping Queens is a really good game because it's small. It's just a card game. The box is tiny. You can carry it all around. Each game takes 15-20 minutes, easy setup, easy tear down. The kids can play it by themselves while you're doing something else with another child. It's been a favorite for years in our home. Dragonwood, same way, but that's more dice-based, also cards, but the box is small. Again, same exact kind of thing as Sleeping Queens. It's really, really good when you need to have one child's attention, the other ones need to be focused. Of course, these can be used on a Friday night for everybody to play, but this is how I use it in our homeschool. It's a really good tool. Also, sometimes I will bring Sleeping Queens in the car with us because it's tiny and it can fit in my purse. Excuse me. And then if we're waiting at pickup for somebody's at a piano lesson, you can break it out and play it anywhere. Story cubes, again, another one. It's really easy to take with you. You can see the kinds of games I'm drawn to. Not a lot of setup. I don't want a lot of setup. Story cubes is a box this tiny. It's just dice, and each dice has an image. And when you shake it up and you let it go, what are the images? And these are story prompts. So someone starts the story using the images, and then someone else adds on to that story. It is so much fun. That's called Story Cubes. And take it with you on the go. It allows them to really become creative and come up with stories, and they have to use the pictures on the cubes. It's such a great game. Catan Junior. Catan Junior is the most kind of elaborate of these games of my elementary choices. It is a bigger setup. It requires a big space on a table, so you cannot take it with you. But most of you have probably heard of Catan, like the regular Catan. Well, they make a junior version. It's really fun. It's one of the most famous popular strategy games right now. It is all about, creating civilizations and trading your goods. And I play it with my girls. My girls going into 4th, 6th, and 8th, again, can play it completely independently. I think my girls do have a little bit of a leg up in board games because we've been playing them for a while. It might be hard for the average 4th grader, but you just train your kids. You teach them young, and then pretty soon we can pull a game off the shelf that even says recommended for 13 and up, and Cora can play it because she's used to this and we've trained her. And I just can't speak highly enough about board games. And the last one for elementary would be Blockus. Blockus or Blockus, I never know how it's pronounced. It's spelled Blokus. It's almost like this advanced Tetris concept, and you add the blocks and they all have to fit together in a puzzle piece. A lot of strategy, a lot of just kind of figuring out what your opponent's going to do next. It's really, really colorful and fun. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, so for some older elementary, middle school, high school, these are going to be more advanced games. Your kids are going to have to really focus. Some of these games will take an hour, but they're really good to play on a family game night where you can kind of partner up if you have a big family. The regular Catan, the regular full version of Catan is the best. Codenames. Codenames is a word game. You build words. You use your knowledge of vocabulary, and just kids who read a lot do well in Codenames because they've read a lot of different situations. And Codenames, there's a basic version, then there's a lot of different versions, like there's a Harry Potter one, there's a Disney one, but I really recommend researching Codenames. Codenames was a gift to us. I'd never even heard of it, and we got it for Christmas, and it's quickly become one of our family's favorite games. Ticket to Ride, most of you have probably heard of that. There is also a junior version of Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride is super fun. It teaches geography because there's a Europe version, an America version, and you're building trains. You're going from one spot to the next. The regular version is pretty tricky and sophisticated, and you might need to have your child like 5th grade and up, but the junior version is really great as an intro. Kids as young as kindergarten can play it. Seven Wonders. Seven Wonders is super fun. It deals with kind of the 7 wonders of the world, and it has a lot of ancient history stuff. It's pretty sophisticated. Cora can really not play it by herself yet either, so she'll usually partner up with me, and then Lillian and Scarlett play it by themselves, like, you know, as their own team. And then the last one for the older ages would be Dominion. Dominion is very great, super fun. It's all cards, and you're building and you're adding on to things, and it's from the same company that makes 7 Wonders. So you'll see if you look these up on Amazon, they kind of have the same style and flair, the cover of the box, and they're really fun. I mean, these would be fun just for you as a couple to do a game night with friends, Dominion and 7 Wonders. I mean, you can bring in your children if they are sophisticated board gamers, but we play it with friends all the time, and it's just so much fun. I had to mention it, even though it is more of like high school and up. Okay, I went through those super fast. So let me look at my list really quick. Okay, I think I got them all. If you want me to type those up, I will. Or if you guys play any other games that are fun, let us know. I always want to learn new games for my family, and everybody watching now and on the playback can get other ideas. Okay, podcasts. Podcasts are great. We use these in our homeschool a lot when we're doing a quiet time. Again, when I need some of the kids to be out of my way when I'm doing something one-on-one. No one takes naps anymore in my home, but I still try to do a quiet time in the afternoon, and they're on their own. They're listening to a podcast or an audiobook. I also have started getting my older daughter, Scarlett, on like a little bit of a workout routine. So she'll do a run or a walk around our neighborhood, and I'll let her listen to some of these podcasts when she's on her own. They're really, really nice, thought-provoking. I have recommendations for all the ages. Of course, in the car are great. When you're just around, I'll play them when everybody's just building Legos. You can listen in the background. So for some of the earlier kids as young as Riker, who's almost 4, going up to 7, really like Story Nori and Sparkle Stories podcasts. These are just stories. Someone's reading out loud. Story Nori is super fun. The narrator is British, and anybody knows me knows I love British culture and just anything British. I love the way they sound. I love some of the words they use. So that's really a fun one. Brains On is a science podcast for kids. What If World has all these like alternate situations. What if, dinosaurs still live today? What if snakes could fly? And then someone talks about this with your kids. It's really engaging. Pants on Fire, of course, coming from the expression like liar, liar, pants on fire. Okay, you're probably thinking, why am I recommending a podcast about lying? But it's really well done. You have 2 people discussing something. One person is lying, one person is telling the truth, but they're talking about something, like gymnastics or ballet or musical theater, and some person really is in that career and they're really knowledgeable, and then the other person's trying to fake it, and your child's trying to figure out who's telling the truth or not, but they're learning at the same time. It's really, really well done. Okay, so some really good ones for older kids, I'd say 4th grade and up, because there's a little romance and there's some scary elements. The company is called Gen Z Media, and my girls, their favorite is called 6 Minutes. There's one called The Unexplainable Disappearance of Mars Patel. But this company, you have to go to their website. They've won multiple awards for podcasts. They're super engaging. Just keep in mind the content could be a little bit more eerie, and sometimes, a boy and a girl might have a crush on each other. So just keep that in mind if that's something that's of concern to you. But my Scarlett and Lily, who are again going into 6th grade and 8th grade, really like these. They'll listen for hours, and so it's such a good entertainment in the summer. Okay, apps, websites. I kind of just combined apps and websites because so many of the websites also have apps. But hey, Jessica, thanks for saying hi. Okay, I'm talking so fast, I'm literally running out of breath. I'm getting so excited, you guys. Okay, so by far and away, best educational app we've ever done for our homeschool. Stack the states, stack the countries. They are, they've been around forever. They're a classic. My children know all of their states and capitals single-handedly from Stack the States. I did not teach them. It's so engaging. It's so well done. Stack the Countries is a lot more difficult, just warning you. So you could start Stack the States with a 2nd grader. Stack the Countries, you definitely need a kid who's 5th, 6th grade. I tried letting Cora do it this past school year as a 3rd grader, and it was way too hard because it's giving you literally like all of the countries in Asia and Africa. And so that would be something you could grow your child into. Both of those are a couple bucks. They're absolutely worth it. Don't hesitate at all. Buy them right this moment. Whether you homeschool or not, they are so, so good. Perfect for road trips, perfect for just anytime, whenever. ABC Mouse, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. ABC Mouse is great. I do it with Riker. You can do it with a kid as young as 3, but they do have activities all the way up to 2nd, 3rd grade. You win badges, you get to take care of your animals, and the activities vary from something simple as colors and shapes to early numbers, early letters, reading simple words. It's super, super great. Quick Math Junior is a nice math app. It gives you different kinds of games, and I like to use math apps in the summer to just reinforce these concepts because kids need to practice. If they don't practice their times tables or their division tables all summer, they'll get rusty and they'll really forget these and they'll just really slow down. So I like to use apps like Quick Math Junior throughout the summer and just tell them you have to do 15 minutes a day. It just keeps them sharp. Starfall does ABCs and they do counting. It's good. It's good like Quick Math Junior. It's a standard, it's a classic, and I highly recommend it. Okay, Scarlett told me to tell you this because she loves one, which I've never personally played, but Scarlett downloaded it. I read the reviews online, and I trust her completely. It's called Monument Valley. She said it's her absolute favorite app she's ever played. She said it's like a strategy game where you're building. She kind of said it's Minecraft-y, but really simple because it's only $3. It's an app. But she said maybe an advanced 3rd grader or 4th grade and up. There's a second one now, Monument Valley 2. And she loves it. She plays it a lot. And she's going to 8th grade, and she's really smart, and it still interests her. So I don't know anything about it, but trust Scarlett, she's very trustworthy, my sweet Scarlett, and she told me to tell you. So get Monument Valley. Codable. Codable is an early coding. It's an app and it's a website, but that one is pretty simple. That would be good. You could even start it with a kindergartner. 1st, 2nd grader has really simple coding exercises. And once your child has become really proficient at Codable, you can transition them to code.org. Code.org is a little bit more difficult, but if they've had the Codable background, code.org does some fun things where they'll do like movie-themed coding exercises. So they do Frozen ones. They have like a Wreck-It Ralph one, and that can be from 4th grade all the way up to 8th grade, 9th grade. It's really, really good practice for them. All my kids have done Codable, and then now all my girls are progressed to code.org, and they have their own accounts, and it's really great. Khan Academy, I mentioned that last week, but it's worth mentioning again. If you have kids who are 5th grade and up, Khan Academy is a plethora of information. I mean, the website is just never ending. I feel like you could watch a video for an hour a day and never exhaust all the resources that Khan Academy has to offer, and it's completely free. So really familiarize yourself with Khan Academy. Okay, people. I jammed through all of these. Now to talk about books. Books, audiobooks, what's good for audio, what's good for read aloud. Okay, some of the best ones I think for audio, obviously it depends on the narrator. You need to have a captivating, engaging narrator. And all of these that I'm going to mention, you could absolutely do them as a read aloud, or your child could just read them by themselves. But we have found that they just stand a little higher as read alouds, or sorry, as audio. We do a lot of road trips in our family, so we do audiobooks in the car constantly, but you can play them again the same times you would play podcasts. When you're doing chores and everybody's around tidying up, when you're doing Legos together, they're just such an engaging way. If your child is an auditory learner, and if you have a child who struggles with reading by themselves, audiobooks count as reading, absolutely. And I mentioned Sarah Mackenzie to you, who hosts Read Aloud Revival podcast, and she always talks about audiobooks that don't belittle them, don't act as if, oh, we did that on audio, as if it's a second-class citizen. Audio is really good, and if your child wants to do summer reading, but they just can't sit still or they have a hard time, count an audiobook. It is amazing. They're getting the story the same way. And by listening to the good literature and good vocabulary, they're learning just as if your child is reading. So I know that I'm going on and on, but I definitely am a proponent of audiobooks, and I think anybody who says they don't count as books has never really listened to a good quality audiobook. So Matilda by Roald Dahl is narrated by Kate Winslet. It's amazing, and she's, such a great actress, and she just puts so much joy and life into Matilda. It's fantastic. Percy Jackson, the whole series is well done, and The Lightning Thief in particular, the first one, the guy who narrates it is really good. He's really funny. It's just so engaging, and all my girls love the Percy Jackson series. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is really well done on audio. Focus on the Family produced their own version, and look at that one. It's good. A Wrinkle in Time. When they made the movie a few years ago, the actress, I forget her name. I think it's Viola Davis. The woman who played I forget what her name is. She narrated it, and it's really, really well done. And I feel like Wrinkle in Time can be a book that can get a little bit like thick and boring if your child tries to read it by themselves. They get kind of stuck in the middle. And with an audio for Wrinkle in Time, it really keeps them going. Charlotte's Web is cute on audio, super, super cute. Harry Potter, Jim Dale, who does the Harry Potter books, is one of the best narrators of all time. And if your family approves of Harry Potter and you don't want to read them because they're kind of thick and you're a little intimidated, or you have a lot of kids, maybe kids second grade all the way up to high school, Harry Potter, the entire series is so good on audio. Mr. Lemoncello's Library. Mr. Lemoncello's Library is this hidden gem that I just stumbled across when I was at our library. I was walking along the shelves and I saw it on CD, like actual CDs. Who has a CD player anymore? I do, in my van. And I grabbed Mr. Lemoncello's Library. It's super fun. It's like this kooky inventor, kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. There's 3 or 4 of them in the series, I think. We did all of them on audio, and they're hysterical. So get those. And last on audio, but certainly not least, is the Ramona Quimby collection. It's maybe like 6, 7, 8 books. I don't even know. But the entire Ramona Quimby collection is really funny, really cute. I mean, she can kind of be a little bratty to her siblings. So I think personally it allows for great discussion with how to treat your siblings. She's a bold, vivacious girl, but she can tend to have a little bit of an attitude. I'm okay with that in my family because we talk about it together, and then we discuss, the way Ramona spoke, how could we have said something differently, but just really fun, classic kid story. She just gets into all these, shenanigans and falls in the mud and funny stuff. So a couple audiobooks that are good for toddlers and preschool, and I only found these a couple months ago because I never even knew they had audiobooks like this when my girls were little, but I was looking for things for Riker that he could listen to separately because I drive to Phoenix a lot with my kids, as some of you know. And in the car, the girls and I will be listening to a book, but it's way sophisticated and boring for Riker. So I did some research and downloaded a couple to a tablet for him to listen to. Mouse, Cookies, and More. It's a whole collection. It's like if you give a mouse a cookie, they have it on audio. And so Riker just listened to that by himself. All the Clifford, the Big Red Dog, which can be a little bit bland, but it kept Riker occupied. We got all these downloaded through Audible, and then Riker just listened to him in the car by himself. And then the last one is Giraffes Don't Dance, which is a really cute story. He loves animals, so it worked. I would say those 3 would be really good for 3 years old to maybe 6 or 7 years old. And And it's fun for, I think, your younger kids to feel like they have their own books. And Riker certainly loved it. Well, I'm going to shift this. Okay, so that's audiobooks. And then I have some other book recommendations, of course. A couple that I wanted to recommend for moms. I know that this is supposed to be about all of our kids, but as I said, I think I said it last week or the week before, we can't expect our kids to love reading or embrace it if we don't ever read. So we want to create a culture of reading in our house. And some books that are really, really, really enriching, that are amazing for you to read, and then your kids can see you reading, setting that tone in your family. For homeschooling specifically, Teaching from Rest. Sarah Mackenzie is someone I've mentioned a million times. She wrote this book, Teaching from Rest. It is so good and powerful as a homeschool mom. If you know you're homeschooling this fall, you should read it this summer to just prepare your heart. Mark of the Lion trilogy by Francine Rivers. That is a historical fiction series. If you want something good to read, if you have a trip planned this summer, it's one of the best series I've ever read. That would also be appropriate for an advanced middle schooler or a high schooler. I just let Scarlett read it. Actually, over the last month, she's been going through them. It's a Christian series. Historical fiction, takes place in ancient Rome. It's hard at times. You know, it talks about some of the hard things, but it provided really great discussions for Scarlett and I. And it's just so well done. Francine Rivers is amazing. She also wrote Redeeming Love, which is another one for mom or kind of an advanced teenage daughter. It's the story of Hosea from the Bible, and just God never stops loving us and pursuing us. It's just fantastic. Two other really good fiction books that I've read recently that I just wanted to share. The Nightingale is absolutely outstanding. It's one of the best, most emotional books I've ever read. I learned so much about World War II. It takes place in France during World War II. It's the tale of two sisters. It's called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. It's so amazing. And then another one is Sarah's Key, which also is World War II. I've gotten really interested in World War II recently. Sarah's Key is very, very powerful. So if you want a book as a mom, The Nightingale, Sarah's Key, super good. Oh, and The Help. The Help came out a couple years ago, and I just noticed that they added it to Netflix. So it could be really fun. You could read it, you know, with one of your older daughters, and then you guys could watch it together on Netflix. The Help deals with just like the racially segregated South. It might be a really great time to read it, considering what's going on in our world in the 1960s. And it was made into a really well done movie, and I loved it. It's kind of a comedy, but then also deals with the intense issues and the realness of it all, but in more of a lighthearted way. So if you're not just on your knees bawling, but it's just so well done. Yes, Janelle, I love that you love that. Mark and the Lion's the best. And Frog and Toad, Jessica, yes. Frog and Toad is super good for young kids, boys and girls, early elementary, kindergarten. Okay, so those are some books for mom. Okay, let's start with the older kids, because I always start with the younger kids. So for your mature middle schoolers and high schoolers, which these are some of the books I've been working through with Scarlett, who is going into 8th grade. She's very mature and she can handle a lot of rich content. So I've been exposing her to these things. She did Mark of the Lion and Redeeming Love by herself. As far as like a discipleship, a couple books for her, Radical by David Platt and Crazy Love by Francis Chan are two absolutely amazing, pivotal books for, I think, a young person's faith, even an adult. When I read them in my 30s, they're just so straightforward. Radical, be radically in love with the Lord. He has a heart for missions and other cultures in the third world. And I think absolutely a mature high schooler, boy or girl, will really learn a lot about their faith and be challenged and tested. For Radical and Crazy Love by Francis Chan. Other books for more mature children, we have the Wing Feather Saga. Wing Feather Saga is by a guy named Andrew Peterson, and he's a Christian author. And it's kind of like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Christian themes. It has some fantasy elements, a little bit of battling, a little fighting. It's really well done. I think there's 5 or 6 in this series. The Green Ember series is really, really sweet, and it's about bunnies. That sounds weird, but they're serious bunnies who love the Lord and they fight for what they believe in and stand for. And, you know, that would be really good for like upper elementary, middle school. Do hard things. Oh, I've never heard of that, Heather. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay. Green Ember, Wing Feather Saga. Hold on a second, you guys. Okay. Elementary. We have elementary, like, grades 3 through 6. The Penderwicks, I talk about the Penderwicks a lot. The Penderwicks is just such a likable, lovable series. The daughter, it is a family with all girls. I do think your sons would like it, but obviously girls are going to like it more. And just all the things that happen in their life, and they lose their mom, and just it has a lot of real life lessons. This isn't a Christian book. It's secular, but it's completely appropriate. Just really funny. All the different daughters' personalities shine through. The Vanderbeekers, which is another book that's kind of like the Penderwicks, and they're a family of mixed races, different ages, and they live in the Bronx. It's just really sweet, well done. Ones that I really like to read with my girls out loud. I mean, keep in mind, I have all girls, so Anne of Green Gables series. It's just such a classic. Anne is amazing. We read all the way through. I can't get enough of Anne. And they have a really good audio for Anne of Green Gables as well. If you don't like reading out loud, throw on the audio. Little House on the Prairie, all of those books are really great as a family. You can do those, again, read aloud. Your kid can, all of these that I'm reading can kind of go either which way. Your child can read them by themselves, read aloud, you as the mom reading to them, or audio, or the dad reading to them. Some dads love to read out loud too. My husband always did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. He did the whole Chronicles of Narnia. That was kind of his thing. And then he's also read Lord of the Rings with the kids and The Hobbit. And, those are going to be a little bit harder to understand for Cora. She gets bored. We just let her kind of color and kind of pay attention, kind of color. But your older children, your upper elementary, can really be challenged and get a lot out of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Roald Dahl, we're big Roald Dahl fans. So I mentioned Matilda is a good audio, but the BFG and James and the Giant Peach are really fun. And those my kids have read by themselves, and I've read out loud because at just different seasons, we did them both. The Boxcar Children. Boxcar Children are classic. I mean, you've all heard of them. They were popular when we were kids, but they've kind of been reinvented, and they have some new mysteries. They're good. They're just good, and they're clean, and they're good mysteries. And the Imagination Station, I don't know if I mentioned that one already. That one is put out by Focus on the Family. And if you're here local, they have the whole play area, which I'm sure you've all been to. And the Imagination Station is a really good intro to some historical events. The kids go back in time, visit history. They always meet someone and talk to them, and they have something to solve or an item they need to find. And they're just really well done. Greetings from Somewhere. Also, that's not a Christian series, but it's similar to Imagination Station, but the two kids are going around, they're traveling, and it's a brother and a sister, and they write letters from where they're traveling from, and it's just really cute. That's Greetings from Somewhere. A series that's really sweet for your lower elementary students if you need things for them to read aloud. Of course, this is more girl focused. Dear Molly, Dear Olive. My two younger daughters, Lillian and Cora, are really into writing letters. They both have multiple pen pals. And Dear Molly, Dear Olive is about two girls, and they're pen pals, and then they meet in person, and they're just so cute and well done. I would say 1st through 4th grade girls can read those by themselves. And they're really, really sweet. Two more series for little girls to read by themselves. The Owl Diaries, so darling, so cute. Even your early reader, like a kindergartner, could start. I Can Read, The Princess Parables. So The Princess Parables is a series that's by Jeannie Young. And so you'll see those if you walk through a Christian bookstore. They have the I Can Read version. It's like I Can Read ! And so they're set up in reader format. So these are kids who are starting to sound out bigger words, create sentences. I would say, kindergarten through 3rd grade. They're really good, and each one has a parable. The princess is learning something, a life lesson. So these are biblically based, really, really good for younger girls. Okay. Wow, guys, that was a lot. And I'm sorry for mothers of boys. I don't have as many series because I have all girls, but a couple series that my girls have read that I know boys love would be Percy Jackson, of course, and Boxcar Children. They like both. But Mr. Popper's Penguins is really good for young boys. The main character is a man, and what's his name? Geronimo Stilton. Oh, thanks, Janelle. If you're a mom and you have boys, mention something boy books, because I really ran out of time. I was going to do some more research, but I started getting busy and getting out of time this week. But Okay. I think that is all. That was so much. And what I'm going to do is if I look back, so I had some other notes in a different spot. If I find other books that I forgot to mention, I'm just going to type them all up. But if you have any that are really good, please add them in and let me know if there's anything else you'd want me to talk about. I'm up for doing another video, but I feel I really laid down the groundwork and created a strong foundation for homeschooling this fall or just having a really fantastic, intentional summer. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. And it's just been such a joy. And I love you all. And I'm praying for you. And don't hesitate to reach out if you want to chat more. Okay? Okay. Have a good Saturday. Bye.